sounds like the practices Zach went through with Windy City, including one of which Billy described as being an arduous practice, said it came out of it feeling fine today, and that all signs point to, unless there's any hiccup as far as soreness appearing for Zach tomorrow, he might play on Friday.
That's what I thought. I called it, I said it, and yay! I didn't say it to none of y'all. I was talking to my friends. But yes, I'm ready for this. I got to see it. I'm very excited to see this.
Again, after the Bulls lost to Philly last night, DeMar DeRozan had this to say about Zach LaVine, his absence, and his potential return very soon. We could have used that extra 20, 25, 30 points. Gives us another a dynamic focal point of scoring and playmaking. At the end of the day, it's still Zach LaVine.
Wow.
Teams have to prepare for that. When we have him on the court, there are so many more options for us to execute.
Again, great picture by Joey, by the way.
Great stuff, as always. That quote came from Casey Johnson's post-game write-up. Will, what do you make of this? I mean, like, for all of the talk about the Bulls functioning better as a team and maybe appearing to appear to Bulls fans and viewers as a more cohesive unit, a happily cohesive unit. But again, happily, a lot of that is just that they're winning games as opposed to losing all of them. What do you make of DeMar saying, hey, this guy that we're about to get back, he's still Zach LaVine?
Well, you know, their trade deadline acquisition in many ways could be considered. No, I'm just kidding. But I think he's right. Like, people, it's like it's been a very convenient time for the Zach LaVine haters, and there appear to be very many of them still, where their team was looking like trash, and then he stopped playing, and then they start playing well, and it's like, oh, maybe this guy is a losing player. Oh, maybe this guy doesn't play defense. Oh, maybe this guy is way overpaid. No, I mean, I think he's going to come back and be really good. I think like we talked about last night, like it behooves him to play well because that helps the team and it helps his draft or his trade stock. Sure. And so if he still does want to get out of town, then that's the best way to do it. So I think he's going to come back, and I think he's going to fit in as best he can. Like, I don't think it's that hard to imagine him like being the one that's running up and down in transition, shooting threes. Like, that's the stuff that fits into what his game is. So, and then there are times like in that Cavs game or last night where you like kind of need some half court scoring because you just can't find any. So I think it'll be good to have him back. And for me, it's just also like this guy just has to prove himself so much to a lot of people that just don't like him. And hopefully he can do that one more time.
Yeah, he's got work to do.
He's got work to do.
There's no doubt about it. I think DeMar actually hit that on the head, though. Like, dude, it's still Zach LaVine. Like, at the end of the day, this is still 24, 25 points a game that you're going to need. Now, he wasn't doing that to start the season because, as we all kind of thought, like, he was on some Harden stuff, you know? And that's what makes this very interesting.
Yeah.
Because he can't come out like that anymore. He can't do that. I'm not even asking him to be the dude that scores 30. I'm just asking him to play within the system because, like Will just said, not only helps the Bulls, it helps him.
Yeah.
And his trade value and his stock, because that's what's going around. That's the reason the cupboards are bare right now, is for that reason. They don't think you can play within this system, and they think it's too much money for what you offer. So you have to change that narrative, and that starts on Friday.
The other thing that I find interesting about this is the timing. If Zach comes back and plays Friday, he will be coming back into a team that sort of like had a great little run and has basically been like win one, lose one for the last 5 or 6 games. And in that stretch, we've seen Kobe White fall back to earth after his, meteoric month, most of the month of December. He's now, struggling because defenses are keying in on him a bit more. He's dealing with more physicality. He's dealing with a sore ankle. He's dealing with a sore wrist. And he's shooting like -8% from 3 over his last 5 games. The timing of that, and then Zach coming back in and trying to find a way to fit in and maintaining some semblance of this different and newer version of the Bulls offensively without Zach that they discovered in his absence, and how that works with trying to keep Kobe's momentum further along into this season and also finding a spot for Zach to feel comfortable coming back in to this team when before he left, some of those nights when Zach looked checked out and disinterested, maybe not the case, but for the better part of since they've been teammates for 5 years now, Kobe and Zach gets more touches than Kobe. Zach is more involved possession to possession than Kobe.
Sure.
And with the timing of Kobe's slump and Zach coming back, I'm very curious to see how that works out.
We all silly like the mayor.